And that was Hillsongs with I Will Exalt You. That was a beautiful song. The time is now 7:20. It is very rainy outside. I can hear the rain. So please do take precaution out there if you are going to be on the motorway driving, if you're going to take your kids to school, or if you're going to work, please take care out there. It's very slippery and wet. So here's the next one moment. If you've just joined us, welcome. Welcome to the show. It is Rivers of Life Radio. It is 7:21. Good morning to you. There is actually some notices. There is a school in Weymouth that is having a fundraiser today. And that is Waimahia School. So they are having a fundraiser today at 5 o'clock. At 44 Palms Road, Weymouth. So if you can make it down there, today at 5 p.m, please go there and support them. Waimahia School, they are having a fundraiser at 5 o'clock. They will be selling all sorts of nice, yummy foods like kikipoa, chop suey, and all those nice Pacific Island foods and Maori foods. So please do go out there and support them if you are able to. So at Waimahia School, 5 p.m, 44 Palms Road, Weymouth. Take your kids, take your family, take your friends. My sister is actually teaching there. Her name is Bernice. Just a very good morning to you if you have just joined us. It is Radio Rivers of Life Radio. A big shout out to Priscilla and Mason, Maya, Langi, and Levy, and also Sam. Good morning to you guys. Also a big shout out to Bernice and Sua, Vili and the Whānau crew, Les and Lena and the Whānau crew, and Luana, and also John Pella.
Here's Dr. James Dobson with Family Talk.
William Shakespeare wrote, "Grief fills the room of my absent child, lies in his bed, walks up and down with me, puts on his pretty looks, repeats his word." I'm sure many of you can identify with the unrelenting grief that Shakespeare described, having lost a loved one or a friend. My mother was one such person. It's impossible to describe how much she loved my dad, to whom she was absolutely devoted for 43 years. When he died suddenly one Sunday afternoon, her world fell off its axis. She was never able to shake off the sorrow that haunted her day and night. "My house has lost its soul," she said. Mom spiraled down physically until she was hospitalized for diagnostic tests. Finally, 2 physicians sat on the edge of her bed to discuss the findings. They said, "Mrs. Dobson, your problem is not a physical ailment. It's grief that's killing you, and you must find a way to release it." But she never did, and she died a few years later of a broken heart. Grief for a lost family member is good and necessary, but it would be well to remember the words of the psalmist David, who wrote, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." Is it time to let the sun shine in your heart again?
Dr. James Dobson with Family Talk.
And you are listening to Rivers of Life Radio. I'm just going to do a little devotion today. God is faithful. He will not allow the temptation to be more than you can stand. 1 Corinthians 10 verse 13. You say that I am allowed to do anything, but not everything is good for you. You say I'm allowed to do anything, but not everything is beneficial. Don't be concerned for your own good, but for the good of others. So you may eat any meat that is sold in the marketplace without raising questions of conscience. For the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. If someone who isn't a believer asks you home for dinner, accept the invitation if you want to. Eat whatever is offered to you without raising questions of conscience. But suppose someone tells you, "This meat was offered to an idol." Don't eat it out of consideration for the conscience of the one who told you. It might not be a matter of conscience for you, but it is for the other person. For why should my freedom be limited to what someone else thinks? If I can thank God for food and enjoy it, why should I be condemned for eating it? For whether you eat or drink, whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. Don't give offense to Jews or Gentiles, or for the church of God. I too try to please everyone in everything I do. I don't just do what is best for me, I do what is best for others, so that many may be saved. And you should imitate me, just as I imitate Christ. This is the word of the Lord.
My safe refuge, my treasure, Lord, you are my friend and King, anointed one, most holy.
This is from Galatians 5 verse 22 to 23. The Holy Spirit produces fruit in our lives: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. So there are certain things that the Holy Spirit produces in our lives. And that's how we can identify that He is part of our lives. The Holy Spirit produces fruit in our lives: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. That's how we know that He is with us. Because all these fruits are present in our lives. This is taken from Galatians 5:14 to 15. When we are not motivated by love, we become critical of others. We stop looking for good in them and see only their faults. Soon the unity of believers come broken. Sorry, that wasn't taken from Galatians 5:14 verse 15. That is based, this is the lesson based on that verse. Soon the unity of believers become broken. Have you talked about somebody behind someone's back? Have you focused on others' shortcomings instead of their strengths? Remind yourself Jesus' command to love others as we love ourselves. Matthew 22 verse 39. When you feel like